Hey everybody, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland. Don Henley's back in the news. I just did a video on this guy, and in that video, I had a lot of criticisms, both for Don Henley and those who call themselves the Eagles. But on the other hand, I've also done videos, and I'll put one of those right up there in the corner and at the end of this video, where I have more or less taken Don Henley's side of the matter. It's where I didn't agree in certain aspects that we're going to talk about tonight, which begs the question, folks, is Don Henley just another rock elitist who wants his cake and eat it too? All right, so the best way to get to the heart of the matter is to go ahead and take a look at an article written by Nick DeRiso, where we can go ahead and get a hold of the basic information and get right to the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the situation. Now, the article starts off by saying Don Henley wants his stuff back. He's filed suit asking for the return of handwritten 70s era Eagles lyrics that were the subject of a recent criminal trial. Now, Daniel Petrocelli, Don Henley's attorney, said these 100 pages of personal lyric sheets belong to Mr. Henley and his family, and he has never authorized defendants or anyone else to peddle them for profit. Now, the article goes on from there and describes how the defendants from the former case fared in this trial. They were kind of left off the hook. All the details regarding that is in that video I told you about that I made concerning the first trial. But the article goes on to say Don Henley filed suit today in New York federal court for the return of property that were stolen from him. His private handwritten notes and lyrics to the iconic songs from the Hotel California album. 100 pages of lyrics for the Hotel California album. I'm not sure how that's even possible unless there is just a lot of napkins included in this and everything else. Now, supposedly these lyrics a few years ago were worth over $700,000. So no doubt this whole thing is a matter of money. Remember, Don Henley wasn't so concerned about these lyrics until they turned up on the auction block. And just like his music with the Eagles and his own albums and everything, he wants to rule all of that with an iron thumb. Now remember, the article said he is filing in New York federal court. In my opinion, that's a long way for a poor Californicator to go to get his stuff back. But all kidding aside, folks, that's quite interesting. I don't understand why Don Henley has to file suit in New York unless it's because these lyric sheets wound up there. I do know, for example, that the lyrics are being held by the DA who handled the case. They're holding it because nothing has really been resolved. But why is this case even in New York, and why does that bother me? I'll tell you why. You see, Don Henley and his lawyers are demanding a jury trial. Now, why is that important? Well, I can tell you from Don Henley's point of view, he's used to being adored by the common man, and he doesn't want to be tripped up like he was when he didn't cooperate fully in the first portion of this trial by any legal loopholes. He thinks that there will be a fandom, or at least a fandom element that will at least be a wisp that ties that jury together. Add that to the fact that I think any normal human being can see that clearly these are his lyrics, this is his property, or certainly was at one point in time. He's the originator. They're written in his handwriting. So his demand of a jury trial is really a plea to the masses of Eagle fans, of people who are oh so blushed by his very presence, which in New York may not be the same crowd that he's used to playing to. Oh, sure, there are plenty of Eagle fans in New York. There's no doubt about that. But there's also fans of many other updated forms of music, and this guy doesn't at all carry the clout he would have if this trial was down in Southern California. So in a lot of ways, this trial is an away game for Don Henley, isn't it? Now, in the video I covered the first trial in, I kept bringing up how this contract, this 1970s Eagles contract, seems to have some of the answers to the truth of the matter for this case, and Don Henley didn't seem to be in a big hurry to have that contract come out. I would imagine anybody on the other side is going to demand and try and bring that in for evidence, and Don Henley better be careful with his team on how they handle all of that, because if he's counting on fandom, all right, in the jury, a lot of those fans will remember how he and Glenn Frey treated Don Felder. And if there's any Don Felder nonsense in that contract, watch out, Don, because then that human element you're counting on may indeed work against you. All right, folks, that covers the video for tonight. I have a question to the tribe, as I always do. What do you think? First of all, do you think these lyrics belong to Don Henley? Or do you think because of the turn of events, he should no longer be able to claim ownership for these lyrics? And another part of this question will be, what do you think about Don Henley and this supposed Eagles contract? Do you, like me, see the whole situation as like where there's smoke, there's gotta be fire, and that contract sure is freaking smoky, isn't it? Or do you not care at all? Give me your responses, because this is where we come together. And this is what I really love about being a part of this channel. It's in the dialogue. I just start the conversation, that you guys take over. All right, I'm Michael Noland. This is The Bottom Line, only as I see it, folks. Like I said, the dialogue, there's the real bottom line of this channel. It's there where we prove we are the tribe.